Suspect Brian Kohberger allegedly dumped trash into the garbage cans of his parents' neighbors as he hid evidence linking him to the 4 Idaho student murders. FBI agents watching his parents' home in Pennsylvania reportedly saw Kohberger wearing surgical gloves and go house to house at 4 a.m. with garbage bags.
The agents immediately go retrieve the trash, and it's a good thing they did, because they found in that trash discarded items that match back to the sheet that was left beside one of the dead victims on the bed.
Chilling new details are emerging about the morning after the murders. Prosecutors say he actually returned to the murder scene at 9:12 a.m. that morning and stayed in the area for 14 minutes.
We know, based on this affidavit, a knife sheath was left in the home. Was this the murderer returning, wanting to try to somehow collect what he forgot at the scene? Or, as we know in our experience, sometimes murderers go back to the scene just to see what's happening.
We're also learning more about what Kohberger did later that day. Cell phone records show that roughly 8.5 hours after the murders, Kohberger drove an hour from his home to the small town of Clarkston, Washington. He drove past a drive-through coffee stand and then went shopping at an Albertsons grocery store. The next day, he drove 100 miles to Johnson, Idaho, an isolated area of the state. Why remains a mystery.
I don't know what, if anything, we'll find there except possibly the murder weapon.
Legal experts say the evidence in the case seems to be overwhelming.
You have a very powerful piece of DNA evidence from the scene linked back to him.
We also have all of the surveillance video, all of the cell phone records.
So what could his defense possibly be? Famed defense attorney Mark Darrigo says it may not be the slam dunk everyone thinks it is.
The defense is going to bring up the fact that his phone was not in the area and did not ping during the time of the crimes, number one. Number two, that the FBI changed their story on the Elantra as to what year the model was. And number three, that they, so far, the DNA is not admissible, what they put in the probable cause affidavit.
I spoke with the father of murder victim, Haley Gonsalves.
So if he were to try to strike a plea deal to save his life and avoid the death penalty, how would you feel about that?
I'd be against it and I would fight it, but I still have other parents that I have to work with.
This is a process where the family is prepared for, they're ready for the long haul, and we'll all get through it.
More questions are being raised today about surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen. She came face to face with the masked intruder and didn't call 911 for 8 hours. Police quote her as saying she was in a state of frozen shock.
I was shocked. It's not what you would expect to see, and now we have an eyewitness, which just makes our case even stronger.